Tidal. Oh, like a secret genocide. I'm concerned about that. I think we might be doing it. These ICE detention facilities, there's this new New York Times reporting that's coming out today talking about how the conditions are horrendous. I mean, they're like inhumane. I mean, pregnant women are having miscarriages, begging for medicine. People are dying. A Canadian died in there. They're starving. They're not getting showers. Like, it's kind of the craziest shit ever. So we're going to cover it. We got the New York Times reporting. We're going to read this. Hi, how are you? I'm Chris Valenti, a douchebag from New York. I majored in history and minored in political science, and there's nothing I hate more than fascists. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. We got a lot. This is a lot to unpack here. If you support the channel, this is Real Independent Media. You could become a member for $5. I really appreciate all my members. You could become a patron. You could on Patreon. You could also donate to the channel. You could buy merch, and you can use the discount code down below. Every dollar goes a long way. This is grassroots. I don't have any funding, so thank you very much to everybody who donates, and thank you for all the recent subs. We're trying to get that YouTube play button at 100K, and to prove to these MAGA douchebags that we are fucking legion. Anyway, without further ado, let's dive into this. Concerns grow over dire conditions in immigrant detention. Mass immigration arrests have led to overcrowding in detention facilities with reports of unsanitary and inhumane conditions. This is by Miriam Jordan and Jasmine Ulua. Far from public view, just like the Germans did with their fucking camps, far from public view, the toll of the Trump regime's crackdown on immigration is unfolding in overcrowded detention facilities across the country. Some immigrants have gone a week or more without showers. Others sleep pressed tightly together on bare floors. Medications for diabetes, high blood pressure, and other chronic health problems are often going unprovided. In New York and Los Angeles, people have been held for days in cramped rooms designed for brief processing, not prolonged confinement, and their lawyers and family members have remained in the dark about their whereabouts. The nation's immigration detention system is buckling under the weight of record numbers as the Trump regime intensifies its enforcement agenda with raids on workplaces and arrests at immigration courts. More than 56,000 immigrants were in government custody on June 15th, exceeding the current capacity of 41,000. Now, one thing I want to point out, because I don't know if they're going to point it out in this article, I haven't read the whole thing. Geo Group is a private prison organization within the United States, and 90% of all ICE detainees are sent to a detention center that is owned by Geo Group. It gets worse. Geo Group, back in 2024, was the first organization, the first company to max out their legal donations to the Trump campaign, okay? Their super PAC. And then, because they couldn't keep going legally, they gave money to other organizations that were going to donate to the Trump regime, right? Or actually, not even the regime, the Trump campaign. And essentially, I believe that they made a quid pro quo. And essentially, they said, hey, Doland, we will fund your campaign, okay? But here's what's going to happen. When you become the president, you are going to come hell or high water. You're going to fucking arrest 3,000 people a day, and you're going to send them to our detention centers. And I believe that's what's going on, because one thing I want to show you is Geo Group's stocks over the past year. Look at this. Look at this. You keep going. Trump is running. Trump is running. Trump is running. Trump is elected, and boom. Or not elected. Trump wins the election. Boom. We know Trump is going to win. We know Trump already won. We know Trump already won. We know Trump already won. And then, boom, he's inaugurated. We hit the peak right before inauguration. And then slowly the public start to realize what we're doing. We hear about CCOT in El Salvador. We find out about all this grim shit. But still, it's an incredibly high stock margin. Thank you for becoming a loyalist, Dylan. Welcome! Anyway, let's keep on reading. Essentially, the point I want to make is I think this is all, like, not only, like, yeah, they're violating the Constitution. They're getting people at workplaces. They don't give a fuck. They're getting legal people. They're getting citizens. They don't give a shit. But I think it's because Trump's balls are in a vice grip from Geo Group. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Quote, "These are the worst conditions I have seen in my 20-year career," end quote, said Paul Chavez, litigation and advocacy director at Americans for Immigrant Justice in Florida, which represents detainees. Quote, "Conditions were never great, but this is horrendous," end quote. At least 10 immigrants have died in ICE custody in the 6 months since January 1st, including 2 at a facility in Miami, the Chrome Detention Center, where detainees earlier this month formed a human SOS sign in the yard. Oh my God. At least 2 of the deaths were suicides in Arizona and Georgia. An average of about 7 deaths a year occurred in ICE custody during the 4 years of the Biden administration. Dude, that's insane still. This is only what we know of, by the way. This is only what we know of. Somebody linked the video, by the way, of Ron DeSantis showing off his fucking concentration camp, please. Immigrant detentions have soared since late May when Stephen Miller, the White House Joseph Goebbels aide overseeing immigration policy, set a goal of 3,000 arrests per day. Yo! Real quick, I want to talk about something. I used to have a TikTok account with like 3 million followers, and when Trump was running, and he was running on the mass deportation campaign of like 20 million fucking people, I said this, and maybe you can remember this. I said, you can't detain that many people because we don't have the facilities, and the only way you could do it is by building up these fucking concentration camps where you force them in there and the conditions are dog shit and people are going to start dying, and then once you realize that people are dying and you can't bury the story anymore, you're going to speed up the killing because you can't fucking afford to deport all these people. This is exactly what I fucking said was going to fucking happen, dog. Anyway, hold on. Nelson just linked me the fucking, look at this, oh my God. All right, let's keep on reading, then we're going to pull that up. To accommodate the swelling numbers, the administration has expanded contracts with prison operators and pushed for a substantial funding increase to secure additional capacity. The House version of the budget reconciliation bill proposes $45 billion for immigration detention, more than 10 times the current budget. Oh my God, I'm actually getting chills down my spine. That's the money for the camps. They're going to look back and go, so wait, they proposed $45 billion to build concentration camps and none of you thought, hey, what the fuck? What are we doing in those camps? Why do you need $45 billion? What the fuck could you possibly need $45 billion for concentration camps? Oh my God. Yo, we might be fucking cooked, yo. We might be fucking cooked. Many immigrants already have outstanding deportation orders, and others agree to voluntarily leave the country. In those cases, ICE officials are able to swiftly put them on planes or buses out of the country. But many others are entitled to court hearings, which take time. And ICE is either releasing those detainees on bond, which also requires a court hearing, or holding them in custody if they are deemed a flight risk. The Department of Homeland Security, which oversees ICE, categorically denied all claims of overcrowding and poor conditions at its facilities. A spokeswoman, Tricia McLaughlin, said in a statement that all detainees, quote, are provided with proper meals, medical treatment, and have opportunities to communicate with their family members and lawyers. Ms. McLaughlin added that Kristi Noem, the Homeland Security Secretary, had called on states and local government to help with beds and detention space, and she noted that multiple court rulings have led to delays in deporting immigrants. Quote, despite a historic number of injunctions, DHS is working rapidly overtime to remove these aliens from detention centers to their final destination, home, Ms. McLaughlin said. But interviews with more than 24 former detainees, lawyers, family members, and lawmakers suggest that conditions in facilities across the country have become unsanitary, intolerable, and in some cases for detainees with health problems, unsafe. Now, guys, remember, we already know that a pregnant woman, was begging begging for medical care, and they refused to give it to her. She was starving and begging because she was in pain, and she ended up having a fucking miscarriage, and even then they still wouldn't give her any help. This shit has already begun. If you ever wanted to wonder what you would do if you were a German during the Holocaust, this, whatever the fuck you're doing right now, is what you would have done then. That's not a dig. That's not an insult. That is a wake up to reality. This shit is happening before our very fucking eyes, dogs. Sweet baby Jesus. Marcelo Gomez, an 18-year-old Brazilian from Milford, Massachusetts, was pulled over on his way to volleyball practice in late May. Mr. Gomez, brother, he's fucking 18. I'm calling him Marcelo. Fuck you. Marcelo, who has lived in the United States on a long expired visa since age 7, said in an interview that he spent 6 days in a windowless, overcrowded room at an ice field office before being released on bond. There was one toilet for 35 to 40 men who had no privacy when using it, he said. They slept on the concrete floor in head-by-toe formation with aluminum blankets to cover them. Head by toe is how we fucking bagged the slaves in ships to make room. Are you fucking dead ass right now? He lost 7 pounds in 6 days, he said, because the food was poor and the portions tiny. It was so bad, he said. I used water to drink it down. Mr. Gomez said he was not able to shower or change his clothes the entire time he was there. Oh my God. At the Northwest Detention Center in Tacoma, Washington, run by the GEO Group, a private prison firm, conditions have deteriorated as the population has significantly increased, according to Global Rights Advocacy, a nonprofit, and La Resistencia, a grassroots group. Alejandro Ganza, a human rights lawyer, said that detainees told her that guards have been so overworked that they have delivered food close to midnight and have failed to provide yard time or disperse funds sent by the families to buy food, hygiene products, and make phone calls. Brothers, sisters, themders, we've got a problem. Lady Liberty is sick. She's ill. She's got a virus, all right? Luigi's about to tweak out. We've got a problem on our hands, folks. Una mattina mi sono alzato. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. We've got a problem. She said she knew of some detainees who had been placed in prolonged solitary confinement or on suicide watch after complaining about conditions. In Alaska, immigrants transferred from the Tacoma facility have been locked up in State Corrections Facility in Anchorage. Quote, "We are very concerned about the mental health and well-being of these individuals," Cindy Woods, a lawyer at the ACLU of Alaska, said in testimony to the state legislature last week. Quote, "Many of them are struggling with the punitive setting and the isolation from family and lack of access to religious effects," she said. They won't give these people like a cross? You're telling me that hey, could I have a cross or something? Could I have like a picture of Mother Mary? Could I have something? Are you so dead ass right now? Oh my God. She said that detainees had been pepper sprayed during a conflict over access to their belongings and that they had regularly been placed on lockdown when the facility was understaffed. After a tour that his staff members took in May to a facility in Estancia, New Mexico, Senator Martin Heinrich, oh no, Oh, what a name for this situation. Excuse me. Whoa! Senator Martin Heinrich, a Democrat, reported that several detainees complained that they had been given few opportunities to shower and had been limited to 2 bottles of drinking water per day and were unable to flush their toilets for days at a time. Dude, that's disgusting. They're making them live in like a fucking shitty smell. That's disgusting, bro. Oh. A California lawmaker, Representative Judy Chu, posted on X that she had visited a detention center in the remote desert town of Adelanto and seen detainees held in filthy, inhumane conditions who had been unable to communicate with lawyers or family members. Jesus Christ, we're committing a fucking genocide. We're committing a fucking genocide, bro. They were not able to change their underwear for 10 days, she said in a video. In a statement, Christopher V. Ferreira, a Geo Group spokesman, there he is. Una mattina mi sono alzato, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono alzato e ho trovato l'invasor. Let's keep reading. Sorry about that. New vocal stem. Geo Group spokesman said that facilities run by Geo, like those in California, Pennsylvania, and Washington, provided round-the-clock medical care, proper diets, and visitation services. Yeah. And Auschwitz was just, what, a fucking playground? I guarantee you these fucking people are going to start enslaving them and they're going to put up a fucking sign that says work will set you free. That's the type of fucking people they are. Mr. Ferreira said the detention centers were monitored by federal overseers to ensure they met strict standards on food safety and health care. How much you want to bet that's Stephen Miller? Herr Goebbels? Herr Goebbels? You are the federal overseer for the camps, yeah. Our contracts also set strict limits on a facility's capacity, he said. Simply put, our facilities are never overcrowded. Hey, dumb fuck, you're arresting 3,000 people a day. Do you think we're fucking stupid? We already had an overpopulation problem in the prisons. Before you got here, dog. Before Trump was fucking everything up. What is this link? What is this link?
Don't you dare be anti-Semitic!
I want to go home, sir! You some kind of anti-Semite, Joey!
Don't send me fucking AI videos. I fucking hate that shit, and you liking that is fucking pathetic. We are fucking artists. You know how fucking pathetic that shit is? That's dog shit. Jesus Christ. Get some class. Anyway, because we've been fucking derailed while I'm recording. Thanks, dipshit. Back to where we were. Immigrants have been locked up for several days at a time in an ICE processing facility in the basement of a federal building in downtown Los Angeles that is intended to hold people for less than 12 hours until they are released. Nelson, put Matt in the corner. I'm not kidding. Put Matt in the corner. Until they are released or transferred to a detention center. Quote, they're packing people in there as if they were sardines. Put them in the corner. Get rid of them. All right. Let me go back. Let me go back. This is really important, guys. This is not funny. We're talking about a fucking concentration camp right now, guys. Okay. Immigrants have been locked up for several days at a time at an ICE processing facility in the basement of a federal building in downtown Los Angeles that is intended to hold people for less than 12 hours until they are released or transferred to a detention center. Quote, they're packing people in there as if they were sardines, said Mark Rosenbaum, a lawyer with Public Counsel, a legal nonprofit. Quote, it's a horror show. He said ICE authorities were preventing people from contacting lawyers and urging them to agree to swift deportation. Quote, it's a no constitutional rights zone. Jesus motherfucking Christ. Holy fuck. Javier, 55, a Mexican day laborer who was arrested by agents in front of a donut shop in Pasadena, California at 5:40 a.m. last week, said that about 60 men were jammed into the frigid, filthy space downtown. Quote, we felt like we were in a cage, said Javier, who has lived in the United States for 28 years but did not want his last name to be used to avoid jeopardizing his immigration case. They would take out 5 men and bring in 10 more. Jesus Christ, bro. All right, you guys can read the rest of this article if you want on your own. It's on the New York Times. We're going to watch this fucking video. This is about, oh, God, it's like, what is it? Alligator Alcatraz, they're calling it.
Immigration enforcement This is the largest immigration enforcement operation that we've seen in quite some time.
This is Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
This is the largest immigration enforcement operation that we've seen in quite some time throughout the entire country. Florida state agencies assisted federal authorities to arrest over 1,100 illegal aliens across the state. We're ready, willing, and able to take it to the next level. We have submitted plans to DHS to say, if this is approved, we will go off to the races, and we will be able to do really from soup to nuts, from apprehension to detention, even putting some of our people in the National Guard in line to serve as immigration judges to process this.
What? National Guard units to play pretend as immigration judges? No shot. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is looking to turn a military base that held German prisoners of war during World War II in a migrant detention center. Do I even have to fucking say it? Do I really have to say it? Do I genuinely have to say it? That is straight, like, that is insane. That is insane. That is insane. He's proposed turning Camp Blanding, Florida National Guard base, into a temporary holding center for undocumented immigrants. It comes after other plans were announced to convert a remote airstrip in the Everglades, dubbed Alligator Alcatraz, into another migrant detention center. He said, Alligator Alcatraz will help our state and local law enforcement with relieving some burden on resources. We'll probably do something similar up to Camp Balding. Dude, he's talking about building a place where, like, if you try to escape, you get eaten by alligators. Jesus, ever-loving fucking Christ. All right. Listen, thank you for becoming a loyalist, Seth. Welcome. Listen, if you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Really, I get like 1 million views a month, and we're not nowhere near that in subs. So just hit the fucking button. You already know you like me. If you do want to support the channel financially, thank you very much for doing so. If you're watching this live, you stay. We're going to keep on going. Other than that, click that video right over there. I promise you, it's a banger, and I know bangers.